Get out of here with that.
I love Spike, kid.
Crazy. And don't blame him on the traffic either. Don't blame him on the traffic.
Between him and Stephen A, I can't take it.
Spike Lee's film career began. He's arguing Bernard King over Larry Bird. Do you think you're going to win this argument about the Lakers and Knicks?
GJ and Max, followed by Greeny. Mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Basketball champion Stephen Curry and soccer superstar Alex Morgan want you to join the PGA Junior League team.
PGA Junior League is a fun team golf experience for kids that the entire family can enjoy.
Boys and girls learn the game from PGA and LPGA professionals and have a great time with friends.
Find your team and get ready for a fun and exciting PGA Junior League season.
I want to see you out playing in your jersey and having fun. Visit PGAJuniorLeague.com.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
As I reach the walkway, someone is walking towards me. It was Paul freaking McCartney. And I did the worst thing I've ever done in my life. Oh, God. I looked over at our section of the pool and yelled to Stace to look over and see what was going on. Thankfully, I didn't yell, "Hey, Paul McCartney is standing right here," but I may as well have. Everyone at the pool, 50 people, look up, and he's kind of got to walk away fast, and the people who he is with are staring at me with exactly the disdain that I deserve. Oh, my God. And I'll tell you, it ruined like 2 days of my trip. Paul McCartney, my idol, my hero. I ruined a Beatles day.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
Coming to you live from the Superbook Sports Studios in Kettering. You're listening to Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. Everybody, happy Monday. Welcome in. Kenner and Cav live here, Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Happy winter, everybody.
Brr, it's cold outside.
This stuff is ridiculous. You know, I don't mind the cold. I like winter. When the winter arrives, means it's basketball season. But what I don't like is enjoying temperatures in the 70s and 80s and then having that ripped away from you and then having to enjoy highs in the 50s, lows in the 30s, having to break the hoodies back out. Just not a fan of it. I hate this stuff. I'm ready for summer to officially get here.
Yeah, I'm looking at the weather, 53, 57, 62, 61, 65 on Saturday, 54, 52, 54, 55. I'm ready for 70s consistently.
We're ready for it. I mean, it makes it really hard to get sick and call off work every day to golf when it's 50 degrees outside. My goodness. But again, welcome in, everybody. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Justin Smith right away on the Facebook page, Kev, says, how about those Pirates? Justin Smith, I didn't even know you were a Pirates fan. Yeah. Justin Smith, you know what? You reminded me of a certain fan base. Reminded me of the Bengals fans. I didn't know Bengals fans existed until 2 years ago. I didn't know Pirates fans existed outside of Keith Byers until all of a sudden, right now, they're sitting at the top of one of the hottest teams in baseball right now. But yes, the Pirates are actually starting to come out of their multi-year rebuild looking like a team that had a plan all along. Hopefully the Reds can somehow do that. But nonetheless, Randy Scott Jr. right off the bat on YouTube, Kev says it was 82 in Alabama this weekend. For that, Roll Tide. That's jealousy right there. Scott Campbell says somehow March has returned.
Goodness gracious. Well, we had one good week of weather in April.
It's beautiful. Oh my gosh, yes. But nonetheless, we got a lot to get into today. It's officially draft week. The draft is officially here. It starts on Thursday night. Again, we're over all the draft coverage just because I feel like all the talking points have just been regurgitated over and over and over. I'm ready to get to the draft so that we could talk about the players that were drafted and not where the players could potentially go. So we have a couple more days to get through that, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. But Kev, I wanted to open up today's show with a little what's more likely to happen. And this is going to cover a range of sports. what's more likely to happen? I'll throw out the scenarios to you. And for those who are hanging out with us on the Justin Skinner Show Facebook page, ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel, or if you want to, give us a call, you can do so. But there's many ways to interact with us. Head to Facebook, head to YouTube now, or give us a call at 518-1410. Which is more likely to happen? That's how we start off the show here today, Kev. Let's start in the NBA playoffs. Which is more likely to happen? Oh, wait, hold on. Mr. Kev Nash, welcome.
What up, though?
Thank you for the reminders in the chat section. People don't like when we don't get to the what up, though. So I forgot about that. My bad. It's a Monday. A little rusty.
It's all good.
All right. What's more likely to happen, Kev? LeBron James and the Lakers to lose their series that they are currently up 2-1 on, or the Cavs to win their series, which they are currently down 3-1 on, which is more likely to happen?
Oh, man, definitely that the Lakers lose to the Grizzlies. Grizzlies have a deep team, multiple all-stars on that team, being one Ja Morant, who dropped 40-something, and they came back on the Lakers, but ultimately the Lakers still end up winning on Saturday night. They also have Jaren Jackson, the Defensive Player of the Year. Everything that we're watching in this Cleveland Cavaliers series is bad, just bad. Jalen Brunson is the best player in that series. Yes, Donovan Mitchell is a better player than him, but he's not playing like it. The Knicks are far more physical. And the Knicks role players are playing better than the Cavs starters. So the Knicks will win that in 6. I believe the Cavs will get this game at home, push it to 6 games, and then ultimately lose to the Knicks in 6 games.
You think I'm still trying to figure out how they won that first game to begin with. The Cavs look bad. And it's not that they look bad. Then let me ask you this. We're changing it up a tad. We're going to get to this. I got to be patient. No, I want to do it now. Are the Cavs worse than we thought, or the Knicks better than we thought?
No, the Knicks are better than we thought. Definitely better than I thought. So I'll say it like this, and this is going to sound very weird. The Cavs are a very top-heavy team. They've only played 7 guys, like all season long. Once they took Kevin Love out the rotation, they trimmed it down to 7 guys. Normally that happens like in the playoffs, you go down to a 7-man roster, but the Knicks are deeper than the Cavs. And they're just playing way better. And another thing I'll constantly remind people of, the Dallas Mavericks let Jalen Brunson go for free $99.
They got Kyrie Irving.
And Kyrie Irving's going to be playing for the Lakers, and that'll be another guy gone for free $99 that they got absolutely nothing for. But you got to give the Knicks a lot of credit. I got a lot of Knicks fans sliding at me right now. A lot of them are friends. Shouts out to DJ Big Al, TJ Smooth, Ty Supreme, my brother Craig Laugh, who lives in Florida. So all the Cavs haters are here. All the Knicks fans are out. And rightfully so, man. They putting it on us. They're putting it on us.
Yeah, you're talking about Kyrie. That was flat out a bad deal. We'll get more into this Knicks-Cavs series coming up in a bit. But if you're just joining us, what's more likely? LeBron James and the Lakers to lose their series, which they're currently up 2-1, or the Cavs to win their series, which they're down 3-1. I think what's more likely to happen of the two, I would say it's more likely that the Lakers would lose their series. I agree with you, although I think that the Lakers are pretty much, I think they're good in this series. I don't know how much of the chatter of Dylan Brooks led to that first quarter just butt whooping, but it always drives me crazy that professional athletes need motivation to do their jobs. But you know what? I can't deny that there seems to be a direct parallel of that being the case, because if it was Dylan Brooks, I think the Lakers, if they do win this series, I think the first round MVP should go to Dylan Brooks and he should win that on behalf of the Lakers if that is the case. That was an interesting first quarter, and people made a lot of the fact that the Lakers almost lost it, that the fact that the Grizzlies came back and only lost by 10. When you're up by that much in the first quarter, it really is tough. It's not an excuse. You can go look at most games that start out like this. A lot of times big explosions in the first quarter, first half usually lead to a much smaller deficit being the final score, because you take your foot off the gas. You're playing with the same urgency the rest of the way. You almost go to playing not to lose than to win because they put all their effort in that first quarter. But yeah, I think that the Lakers have a better chance of losing this series than the Cavs do of winning their series. It'll be interesting to follow along with both of these moving forward. I was hoping that the Cavs would give us an extra couple weeks of content throughout the playoffs, man.
Nah, they're not. They're not. It's just not. Just watching that game, man, you can clearly see who's the better team. We can blame coach. We can blame the way Garland's shooting the ball. We can blame the lack of aggressiveness from Mitchell. The Knicks are just better. The Knicks are a better basketball team.
Well, Cavs, Knicks. Game 4 is what, tomorrow? Game 5 is tomorrow.
5 tomorrow,
Game 5 is tomorrow. We'll talk about that coming up here in a bit, but we'll stay with the NBA. More likely to happen, Kev, on this one. What's more likely to happen?
Okay.
Draymond Green will not get ejected the remainder of the playoffs. That doesn't seem like very likely. Or Anthony Davis won't miss a game due to injury the rest of the playoffs. Which is more likely to happen?
Repeat it.
I don't think I didn't make up the rules saying you can't say it's even, but this is as close to even as you can get. So which is more likely to happen? That Draymond will not get ejected for the remainder of these playoffs.
Okay.
Or Anthony Davis won't miss a game due to injury the rest of the playoffs. Which is more likely to happen?
Draymond getting suspended. That's more likely to happen. Did I word that right?
Draymond to get ejected.
Oh, to get ejected.
He won't get ejected.
That he won't. Then AD to get hurt for sure. Because you know why? I think the Lakers are going to play more games than Golden State, so that gives him a more opportunity to get hurt. He got hurt this last game, and he got hurt the game before that, but he toughed it out and came back on the court.
Lakers fans have to be very good swimmers, very good at holding their breath. And I'm not joking. I'm not a big, I like the Lakers. I like a big LeBron fan. I tune into every Lakers game because of that. And every time AD goes up for a rebound or it just shows any kind of physical type of attempt at all, I hold my breath. I'm like, oh. And to be fair, though, AD plays hard. Yeah. He does dive on the floor after loose balls. He's going after every rebound. He's very good defensively. I'm a big AD fan. It just stinks because the dude just can't stay healthy. Give him credit. He stayed healthy through this series so far, but he's had a couple scares. But what's more likely to happen? Draymond Green will not get ejected for the remainder of the playoffs, or Anthony Davis won't miss a game due to injury the rest of the playoffs. I'm going to say what's more likely to happen is that Draymond Green will not get ejected for the remainder of the playoffs. But, man, that's going to be tough. I think, like I said, this is an impossible one. I think that's all someone said. Keith Bond says, ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, because, I don't know. I don't know how to confidently answer this.
So it's 2-2 with the Kings and the Warriors. So, obviously, you got 2 more games to go either way if they win or lose. He's definitely going to play 2 more games. If they actually win, they'll probably play the Lakers in the next round. And you know the intensity of the playoffs just ramps up every single round. And, you think about the Kings-Warriors series, like that seems like it's a conference finals game already type of series. So only imagine what that's going to be if the Warriors are playing the Lakers or if the Warriors are playing the Grizzlies. If the Warriors are playing the Grizzlies, he's getting ejected. You can book that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a for sure.
And I kind of want to – I don't want to see that series at the expense of the Lakers being knocked out. I'd rather see Golden State Lakers. But, man, I did want to see that Golden State Grizzlies matchup in the first round because that would have been lots of suspensions for those of you out there who cry about it not being physical enough like in the 80s and 90s. But nonetheless, that's where it would have been. All right, Dayton Flyers, Kev. We talked last Friday. We didn't know what the future of Daron Holmes, we're waiting if he was going to declare for the draft. In typical Daron Holmes fashion, he's very quiet. He's very introverted. He did not make a spectacle of it. He didn't have to do one of those basically already pre-typed out little letters. Hey, I want to thank God. I want to thank my family. I want to thank God. We know you're thankful, yada, yada. Just get to the point. He, declared for the draft, and he didn't make a show about it. He just did his thing. So he's declared for the draft. He did hire an agent, but he does keep his college eligibility, so he could still come back to college to play, which is really cool. And I think it's smart to do. I think every player that's fringe should always do this. Go get that grade, find out what your future is going to be. So what's more likely to happen, Kev? Daron Holmes to be selected in the first round of the NBA draft, or Daron Holmes will return to college, but not as a Dayton Flyer, which is more likely to happen? Because right now a lot of mock drafts have him as a second rounder. So what's more likely to happen? Him going to do this evaluation, being taken in the first round, or returning to college, but not as a Dayton Flyer?
That hook is the first round.
I've been sitting here hooking all day. Wait a minute, Kidder. That's a phrase I have not used before. But anyways.
Oh, man, if you just said staying in the draft, I would have said staying in the draft. But you're saying first round. Yep. I don't think Daron gets drafted in the first round. I think more likely out of those 2 scenarios for him to come back to college and unfortunately play for a different team, not name the Flyers.
Yeah, I think what's more likely to happen. And I think that, again, some mock drafts have him going first, but we're talking late first. Could go either way as far as, early second round, late first round. I think what's more likely to happen, just because I think there's still some NBA deficiencies within his game. He's a hell of a college player. For a down year last year, the kid was just unfreaking stoppable, but there's still things to his game that I think NBA execs want to see. But I think maybe he could put that on display, not being force-fed the ball to carry a team that has no guards. So I still think that he might have a chance to kind of give himself a positive evaluation in this. But I think what's more likely to happen, I think he needs to come back to college for one more year. I think that's the difference between a fringe late first rounder, early second rounder, and being a top 15 pick next year. So I do think he comes back. Unfortunately, I don't think he comes back to Dayton. I could be wrong on that, but you look at Anthony Grant, they're hitting the transfer portal, but they're not getting the players they normally get. They're getting players from Buffalo and Robert Morris, and they're not getting the Michigan play. They were used to get transfers from Georgia, from Michigan, from Nebraska, from Florida. Not Robert Morris, not Buffalo. So although these guys could end up being really solid, I think it's a lot for Daron Holmes to trust that this roster is going to be good enough to put him in position to make those improvements. So what I think is more likely to happen, him coming back to college, but unfortunately, I don't think he comes back to college wearing the Dayton Flyers colors, and there's a lot of different colors now. So the Chapel Blue and all that.
Yeah, for me,
North Carolina, but
for me, I am the guy that bangs on the NCAA every chance I get. Anytime they do something that I don't like, I'm jumping on Twitter. I'm jumping on this microphone saying something I don't like that they did. But this is something that I love what they did. They allowed the college basketball players to test the waters of their professional career and still remain eligible to come back to school. That is something that has not only helped a lot of college guys who go get their draft prospect and don't like what they hear. They come work on their game, come back to school, and they become first-round draft picks. Obi Toppin's one of those guys that has definitely benefited. And it benefits everybody involved because, you're able to see what you got. And for Daron Holmes, what's really going to be cool is he's going to be able to go through the draft process. And not only in the NBA thing now, they have those open runs. So you're able to get out there on the basketball court with other guys that are going to be drafted. So it's not just them simply looking at the measurables or them looking at your game film. You get out there on the court with guys that are going to be playing in the NBA or the G League. And in this case, they'll have guards to be able to get him the ball. So he'll be able to diversify his game so the scouts can actually see what he can do outside of what he was doing for the Flyers. So kudos to the NBA for the NBA Combine for having open runs, and kudos to the NCAA for allowing dudes to go test the waters and keep their eligibility open.
Yeah, because keep in mind, the thing that Toumani Camara, I forgot what showcase he was just playing in not too long ago, but he was playing with better athletes, running up and down the floor, and he was dunking on dudes. He looked like a completely different player in these highlights. We didn't see and by the way, there was a stretch where I thought Toumani Camara was just as deserving as Daron Holmes to win A-10 Player of the Year at some point. I know neither one of them won it. The guard from VCU who left, obviously, to Pitt or to Penn State. But bottom line is both are really good, but you could see the talent that was left on the table due to the injuries to guards, and the guards maybe not being as good as what were anticipated. But yeah, I think that style of play is going to elevate both of those two. That's for sure. The other thing for Dayton too, and I know, look, going to the NBA is a great thing. That's still a product of the program. So that's not a bad thing that he's leaving. It does hurt the program that he won't be there if he doesn't come back, because you're losing Daron Holmes, Toumani Camara, Blakeney, Amzil, Sherazham's all going, to the portal and leaving. They added that Enoch Cheeks from Robert Morris. They added a big kid from Buffalo that's only played basketball for 4 years, I guess. And this isn't like a success story like the Edey kid from Purdue. This kid is raw. So I don't think that addition today is as good as people are making it out to be. I think Dayton's in trouble. Hopefully they have a few surprises up their sleeve, those being the coaching staff, of course, in the portal. And that was what is more likely to happen. Good stuff there. Still got a lot to jump into. NBA playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, all that fun stuff coming up. NBA draft. Again, it's officially draft week, so we'll get into that coming up around
finally.
The corner. Apparently, some executives high up when it comes to the NFL believe that this is actually a very bad draft. This is, they always say if you have at least 15, if there's only 15 good quality starting prospects in the first round, that's still a bad draft, and there's less than 15, according to this article on The Athletic, which will highlight some of these talking points coming up around the corner. How about the SEC? They want to take home games away from the best conference in college football. We'll tell you why that is when we come back. Kenner and Kev, 1410 Wing AM.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Our forecast, a freeze warning in effect with a low of 34 tonight, and then patchy frost and a slight chance of showers tomorrow and 58, and then sunshine and 59 on Wednesday. I'm Rick Shrimp for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Carol Wirtz Tire and Auto Service at 730 South Patterson in Dayton, where they treat every vehicle like their own and every customer like family. Online at c-wtire.com.
I can't wait for what's next, even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by Columbus Equipment in Columbus, Dayton, or Toledo to see their full line of Kubota construction equipment, or check them out online at ColumbusEquipment.com.
Your joints are talking to you, right? They're saying, hey, something's not right. You didn't listen because you thought the pain would go away in a week or two, but it's not going away.
Football legend Emmitt Smith knows you got to listen to your body. Never ignore what it's telling you. And when it sends pain signals, don't wait. Get ahead. Stop it in its tracks with a visit to the nation's leader in joint pain relief.
That's QC Kinetics. Yeah, they are way ahead of the curve in this pain treatment business.
QC Kinetics says no to invasive surgeries and harsh drugs. They found a better, natural way to relief, using your body's own healing properties that you were born with. And it takes place same day, right in the office during your appointment. No surgeries and no downtime.
Before that pain goes next level, get ahead of it. Go see QC Kinetics. Stop it in its tracks.
Call QC Kinetics, 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325. 937-936-0325.
By now, you should know Audio Etc. has all the same sales and deals on TVs and projectors as everyone else. But did you know we also have some of the world's best hi-fi? Hi, this is Kirby from Audio Etc. And we do have some of the best home theater high-fidelity gear on the planet. Not only do we have your favorite brands like Klipsch speakers and SVS subwoofers, but audiophile greats from Bowers & Wilkins, Kef, NAD, Marantz, Cambridge, Mark Levinson, and plenty of vinyl and tube gear. Plus exotics you only see in the magazines. Stop by today and visit Audio Etc.'s crazy cool showroom and see and audition the best audio and video it has to offer. While you're in, check out our huge selection of pre-owned vintage gear. A great way to afford great gear otherwise out of reach, or revisit old classics. Audio Etc. Sound advice you can trust. Audio Etc. 551 Congress Park Drive at the corner of Paragon in Centerville, or call 434-9770.
Audio Etc.'s crazy cool showroom.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers. Excellent pay, benefits, and a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today. Online at CordellTransportation.com. Driven to succeed.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
One Mississippi,
to Mississippi.
Keep counting at those stop signs, Alex. Full stop and doesn't go until she counts to 5, McSweeney. Because you are a safe driver. And like most drivers who sign up for Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate for how and how much you drive, you could earn a discount for your good driving. So don't turn into an Alex rolling stop and goes whenever she wants, McSweeney. Because once an Alex full stop and doesn't go until she counts to 5, McSweeney, always an Alex full stop. Well, you know the rest. Sign up for Snapshot today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in all states or from all agents.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Staples stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store.
Kenner and Kev, back with you here, Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Give us a call, 518-1410, 518-1410. We opened up the show with a little what's more likely to happen. Draymond Green not getting ejected for the remainder of the playoffs, or Anthony Davis to not miss a game due to injury the remainder of the playoffs. I mean, some of these were a little difficult, not going to lie. LeBron James and the Lakers to lose their series as they're up 2-1, or the Cavs to win their series as they trail 3-1. My goodness. I mean, this is a series that had everyone. I mean, you had the Cavs in 5. And to be fair, that was based off the precedent of the big guy, Julius Randle, being questionable, or at one point even listed as, out for the series, or at least the start to the series, which would have obviously changed, the tide of that. But Randle, who's been very solid, he's not why. I mean, he's why. I mean, everyone's playing a role.
Right.
He's not why they're up 3-1 on the Cavs right now. He plays a role in that, but he's not why. I mean, it's Brunson. I mean, it's just the emergence of him. Now, we were talking during the break. Sometimes it's not really the emergence. It's just the spotlight's officially on him doing what he's always done. It's just now it seems bigger because it's in New York. It's the Knicks. And you're winning in the playoffs at Madison Square Garden. A very unique Knicks team, because it's not the Knicks team. Every year we talk about the Knicks trying to go get a Kevin Durant or a Kyrie Irving or a Mitchell or whoever. Like, they have to have the biggest of big names because it's New York. Sometimes some of these better Knicks teams over the years have been the teams that have not been as sexy. They've just been hard, working good players that they usually trade off to try to get the bigger name players, and then it ends up not working. So it's always weird. The Knicks always bite themselves in the butt. I want to poo-poo on the Cavs, and it's unfortunate that they're not living up to the regular season build. But I think this is more about the Knicks just clicking and being a much better team than the Cavs than it is about the Cavs just playing poor basketball. The Cavs are not very deep either. They have no weapons on the bench at all. Obi Toppin and company. I mean, they have multiple weapons that they can go to, including Quickly and others off that bench. The Knicks are just beating them in every facet of the game right now. They're tougher. They're more physical. They shoot the ball better. And they just look more just confident. And I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I mean, even think about it like this. The Knicks are so deep that Julius Randle only played 27 minutes yesterday and was 3 of 10 from the field and only scored 7 points. And they have Hartenstein and they have Obi to come in and give them quality minutes, and combined they only scored 6 points. But it's not just the points what they're doing. They're playing great team defense and they're rebounding the heck out the ball. We talked about what Josh Hart was able to do in game 1 versus the Knicks, getting a double with 17 points and 10 rebounds. Well, he started in this game. He dropped 19 points and grabbed 7 rebounds. And then you look at RJ Barrett, who was MIA in both games 1 and 2 in Cleveland. And then when he gets to New York, he balls out of control. Still not shooting the ball well, but he's attacking the rim and going to the free throw line a ton. And what can I say about Jalen Brunson, man? Like, people that don't watch a lot of NBA or only watch NBA in the playoffs or really only watch the highlights really didn't get to see what he was capable of, what he was doing with the Dallas Mavericks. He was a second-round pick, obviously a champion out of Villanova, second-round pick to the NBA, to the Dallas Mavericks, was the backup point guard, then cracked that starting lineup playing with him and Luka. And then when Luka went down in the playoffs last year, he really got to step up and really show what he could do with his offensive bag. And now he's doing that on the big stage in the playoffs. He's the guy that's making that whole thing run for the New York Knicks. And I thought that this was going to be a coming out party for Jalen Brunson, which it is. But the other person that was supposed to play a big role in this coming out party thing with this whole series was supposed to be Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell was absolutely missing in action yesterday. He was equally as bad yesterday as Darius Garland was bad on Friday night. So when your two big guns aren't clicking at all, you're going to lose. You're just simply going to lose the games. And I mean, they're really playing into the Knicks' hands. They're forcing Donovan Mitchell to get a ball up early. And then when DG has it, they're forcing him to give it up. So there's not a lot of cutting to the basket going on. There's a lot of standing around the three-point line. And they're forcing Isaac Okoro to shoot the ball. That's exactly what the Knicks want you to do. He made 1 3. He was like 1 of 6 yesterday. So nobody's cutting to the basket. So you're not getting any movement out there. And the Knicks are just playing hard-nosed defense, and they're cleaning up on the glass. Mobley's played a little bit better, but they're going to need more than just Mobley playing better. They're going to need their big gun and that guy, Donovan Mitchell, to play a lot better in order for them to push it to Game 6 in New York. So they got to step their game up on Wednesday night.
So I watched this Cavs team, and the reason I love this Cavs team is love Jared Allen.
Yeah.
Evan Mobley's only in year 2. And this is the thing about the NBA. It's a lot like baseball. It's become more like baseball, where you need 3, 4, 5 years, unfortunately, before you know who you're. I mean, we've talked about this ad nauseum when we think about this Los Angeles Lakers team, who, you know, D'Lo comes back, but D'Lo needed 3, 4 years before he looked like a star in the league. And you look at Julius Randle. Go look at the last year he was with the Lakers. I guarantee you, they don't even look anything alike. Like his body is just totally redefined with the Knicks. It's unbelievable the job that he's done since getting to New York. I mean, he's been unreal there. It takes years. I mean, if you think about Mobley could be another 2-3 years away before he is what he needs to be.
Right.
And unfortunately, I don't think the Cavs have time to wait for that completely. But you're not moving on. Mobley has you look at Mobley has the higher ceiling than Jared Allen. I think you got to move on from one of those two in the offseason to get bigger, stronger down low. Am I wrong in saying that? Draymond Green, a free agent, I don't think you're getting him to come to Cleveland by any means, but you need someone like that. Like, they're just getting out-muscled and out-manned down low. And, like, that's weird to say for a team that has 2 7-footers. I know It's the NBA. Not a lot of teams have 2 7-footers, you know, standing in the paint. But the problem is either of them are power guys in the paint. They're finesse guys. And I think that's the big glaring takeaway to me. I mean, you can't move on from Garland. You can't move on from Mitchell. You can't move on from your guards. I think the only way you could really improve is getting bigger and stronger down low. I just don't know what that answer is. Like I said, Draymond, he ain't coming to Cleveland unless you get LeBron to come here in the next couple of years. Who knows?
I don't know. I definitely wouldn't give up on those guys. I definitely wouldn't give up on Evan Mobley. I definitely wouldn't give up on Jared Allen. I mean, we think like, oh man, Jared Allen's such a veteran guy. Well, he's only 25 too, so he's not even in his prime yet. So I'm hanging on to both those guys. The thing is, the problem area for the Cavs is the small forward position. So they're running out there with Karis LeVert, who's like 6'3", 6'4", somewhere around there at the small forward position, or they're running out Isaac Okoro, who's a good defensive player, but he doesn't have that 3-part down of the 3-and-D guy. So a guy that I wanted them to go out there and get, which they weren't unable to obtain, was a Jay Crowder, who ended up going to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Perfect name.
So like him, Bobby Portis, but it seems like all those type of guys already play for the Bucks. So like Bobby Portis on this team, all that punking that's going down low in the paint, that wouldn't fly. He'll end up getting a technical. He'll get rough and tough with those guys. This is a learning process for Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, but you do need a veteran out there. And the good part about those type of guys like a Jay Crowder or a Bobby Portis, there's a lot of those type of guys in the NBA that you don't necessarily have to give up a big piece to go out there and get. You can just basically sign those guys in free agency. I know that the Jay Crowder was one with like a buyout situation, but Jay Crowder seems like he's always available. I mean, he bounces from the Suns to the Heat to the Bucks to the Bulls. Like, it just always like in that 3-man circle that he seems to be going around in. So I think they'll be fine come free agency. I don't think they'll make a big name splash like they did this past offseason. I think they'll be able to find like those small pieces that'll be able to work. Like, like a PJ Tucker, like those type of guys. There's a ton of those type of guys in the NBA that you can help the team out, because I love Chetty Osman. I love the way he goes out there and fights, but he ain't it. He's not going to be able to get it done. Ricky Rubio, he's not going to be able to get it done. Like, those dudes are just not going to be able to get you over the hump. They're not providing that extra punch that Obi is, that a Sockenstein is for the Knicks. They're just not providing that extra punch. So they'll be able to fix and retool the lineup come the offseason.
So some of the names available after, look, TJ Warren available after this year, but I don't know how much toughness he brings to the table as far as that goes. Chris Middleton's available after this, but that's going to cost you money they don't have. You're talking about Kuzma. He's about to sign big. He already signed big, didn't he? Or is he about to get the bag with them, with Washington?
He's about to get one.
But Cam Johnson, he's earning his money right now, obviously in the second half. Dylan Brooks. And to be honest, let me ask you, Dylan Brooks, we say this all the time. He's a player you hate when he's not on your team, but you love him there. Actually, I don't know if that's true. Sounds like a lot of reports coming out that Memphis is over him as far as his antics and stuff. Who knows? But this is just talked about today on Get Up and stuff. But he's a free agent after this upcoming season, and they may not want to pay him. You have shooters, you have scorers. I just think you need that toughness. I think you need.
Right.
So I wouldn't mind Dylan Brooks in Cleveland. And to be honest, he's about 10 mil is what this is, the projection for him next year. Your thoughts on Dylan Brooks in Cleveland?
I wouldn't mind it. My whole thing is you already have a small backcourt. This is part of the problem with them right now. They roll out Karis LeVert, so they're basically running a 3-guard lineup, but they're all relatively small. Like, Mitchell plays big because he attacks the rim and he's an aggressive player, but he's only 6'3". And then your point guard, DG, he's only 6'1". So you do need a more lengthy wing player out there. So I'm not sure if Dylan Brooks is that guy for the Cavaliers. Like, if I'm looking for a tough guy, I'm looking for a tough guy that has some length to him. He's basically the same height as Mitchell.
But who is that then? Like, who's an example? And if you don't have one,
I don't have one off the top of my head. Just because I'm deep in the playoffs, I'm not sure who's available free agency wise. I'm just not willing to give up Mobley or Jarrett Allen to make a splash, because I don't think there's a guy out there that is going to be better than those guys. I'm just not sure if there is one right now.
Chris, and again, he's retired. But like the size of a player, Chris Wright is the size of a player I envision being that perfect type of guy, that 3-and-D guys you talked about. But Chris Wright always comes to mind with that, like just that type of build, as far as having that size, but also not a string bean either, that guys could just back down. Like he had it all as far as that's concerned. But nonetheless, Kenner and Cap, 1410 Wing AM, the Cleveland Cavaliers try to fight off elimination tomorrow night. They're back in Cleveland. I always want to call it the Q, but they'll try to fight off elimination at home. You think they got another game? 2 games in them?
They'll get back home and somebody's gonna catch. Chetty Osman's gonna catch fire and hit like 6 threes. DG's gonna hit like 5 threes, and they'll push it to 6 games. They'll get back to Madison Square Garden for sure.
All right, switching it up a bit. College football. How about this headline? This is quite a quick transition. That was like a ripping of the Band-Aid off. Just a quick transition. We'll get back to the association here in a little bit, but the SEC Cap is considering harsher penalties for field storming, including the loss of a home game and forfeiting wins. Now, the SEC, I've always said before that, I think we complain too much about SEC protocols and SEC's approach to things. I'm like, when you have a team that's won 3 straight national championships with 3 different teams, 4 straight national championships, right? Did Georgia just repeat?
Yeah, Georgia repeated.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. The SEC has won 4 straight national championships, and I've always said that whatever they do, if you're a conference, you should just look at what they do and do it. When fans get mad at the SEC because of the schedule light and they put that William and Mary game in week 8 or 9 or whatever it is, so while everyone's playing big tough rivalry games or whatever, everyone else is, the SEC is playing these little cupcake schools, and it drives people nuts. And I've always said, instead of hating on the conference, maybe you should demand that your conference do the same thing, because I don't think hating on the conference that's won 4 straight national championships make a whole lot of sense. I've always used the analogy, Kev. If you're in school, whether you're high school and college, and the teacher or professor says, okay, for this final exam, everyone, it's an open note test. You can choose whether you want to use your notes or not. And the students who choose to use their open notes, they score higher on their test than those who choose to do it, though good, but we're going to work hard. We're going to do it the right way. but they score higher than you, but you had the option to do it too. I don't want to hear it. It's the same thing with the Big Ten and everything. You have the option to do what the SEC does. You just choose not to, and then you wonder why you're looking up at them. That's where I'm at when it comes to the SEC and how everyone follows their lead. This is an interesting approach. This really isn't about scheduling or anything, but it is interesting, Kev. Apparently, the SEC is the only conference that fans storm the field. True or false?
False.
False, yeah. But the SEC, I guess they're bored with all their national championships, so they're trying to put their attention elsewhere. And apparently, where they're drawing the line is students having fun at games. And, think about Tennessee beating Alabama and storming the crowd. Apparently, Pat Forty of Sports Illustrated is reporting, Kev, that the SEC is considering harsher penalties for field storming. Among those punishments being considered, Kev, are the forfeiture of home games. In other words, Tennessee, they beat Alabama. The fans, they rushed the field. Tennessee would lose its next home game against the Crimson Tide, which means that Alabama would get 3 straight home games in that series. That is a significant punishment right there as far as that's concerned. Now, this is just for in-conference games and that type of thing because they have more control of that. But why is the SEC? Why is this such a big deal to the SEC of all the conferences out there?
It's a safety thing. Have you ever stormed the field?
No,
I have. It's a good time. With that being said, it is a safety thing because, God forbid, somebody gets trampled and dies. Who you think is going to get sued? The school is going to get sued. This is all about safety. This is all about covering their butts, because if something goes wrong with you storming the field, nobody's going to look at the fact that, oh man, we forbid you from storming the field. We encourage you not to storm the field, but you do it anyway. Nobody's going to look at that. They're immediately going to go to the schools and say, oh, you guys should have had more security. You guys allowed them to rush the field where there's 100,000 people and probably about 100 security and police officers. You think 100 people is going to stop 100,000 people from getting on that football field? Anybody, anywhere can get on that football field. How many times have we seen people run on the football field and streakers and things of that nature? Imagine 100,000 of those people. You can't stop people from running and charging on the field. You just simply can't. So I think it's a smart move by the SEC to try to put more pressure on the schools to increase the security at the games to prevent people from storming the field.
According to this article on 3, it says that losing future home games is one option being discussed, as we talked about. Another is forfeiting the game that had been won during the field storming incident. There are good reasons why the SEC wants to keep fans off the field. Simply put, it isn't a safe practice for players or fans. Now, by the sounds of my tone, it sounds like I disagree with this. I actually don't. I've always argued this, that the only thing that is going to stop this from happening is for a melee of fans to beat up the opposing team or to beat up an athlete in general, to run over a cheerleader, to run over coaches. Let's be real. Nick Saban, he's a little bit older. I don't care what rent-a-cop is standing beside him on the field. You ain't going to stop a bulldozing fan base that's coming for you, right? Like, these coaches have targets on them. These players have targets on them. This is why the NBA, and I know this isn't even close, this is why the NBA, especially after the Malice at the Palace, they were like, this is why they cracked down on that. Like, I don't care how much security you have. Unless you have a SWAT team, you're not going to stop an entire stadium or arena full of people coming down on you. So I'm fine with this. I don't mind it. I guess I'm just curious why, of all the conferences, the conference that at the time, I know right now, looking back on the pandemic, everyone has all the answers now, but no one had any of the answers when the pandemic started. So for the SEC to preach the safety card, I just get a huge kick out of that. The SEC has never been known as a conference to err on the side of caution, I guess. And proof, 2020. That's all I need to say. I mean, let's be real. Like, there's a global pandemic killing everybody, but hey, you know what? We got money to make. But storming the field, that's where we draw the line on danger. The difference is yes, this is going to be on their campus. It's going to be right. Cameras everywhere. Everyone will see it. But I've always hated that. Basketball games especially. I was at the Shot 2 years ago when they beat Duke, and Coach K's either last or second to last season. No, it was the last season. Duke played at Ohio State. Ohio State won. Everyone stormed the floor, and I thought that actually made Ohio State look a little small, to be honest. I'm like, you should expect to beat Duke. You're Ohio State. I know you're not Duke basketball, but you're still Ohio State in every sport. You shouldn't be shocked that you beat Duke on your home floor. But I've always thought that, Kev, it's going to take someone getting physically trampled before they say, man, this is really disappointing. We're going to put now we're going to put things in place to keep fans from doing this. Just do it now. It's kind of like in baseball when they put the nets up. They shouldn't have taken 3 kids to get drilled in the face, some passing away before you decided, yeah, maybe this is pretty dangerous. We should put nets along the side. Like, I'm glad that they're doing this now before there's something bad enough to justify doing it.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's taking this long. What was the guy from Boise State, from Oregon that punched the kid from Boise State on the field?
Oh, wow. When was this?
Dang, what was his running back?
Was it recent?
It was a while ago, maybe like 10 years ago. Dang, what was his name? LeGarrette Blount. Oregon is playing at Boise State. Boise State wins. The fans rush the field. The fan is all up in LeGarrette Blount's face. LeGarrette Blount pops him in the jaw. Like, I thought from that moment on, there should have been more precaution put in place for people storming the field, because incidents like that are going to happen. So that's just one. So imagine if someone gets in, like you said, Coach Saban's face. Like you said, Coach Saban isn't a young buck. You know, we just saw freaking Jamie Foxx, who seems like he's in great health, just have a seizure and have a medical emergency, I should say. So, like, what if that happens to a coach and they have a heart attack or something like that, to have a medical emergency right there on the field with all those people around, and they're unable to get to those people? Like, fans, stay in the stands. Stay in the stands. The field is for the players and coaches and refs only. Stay in the stands. Have a good time in the stands. I have no problem with a lot of this. I have no problem with them taking home games away from them. I do have a problem with them trying to forfeit the victory, though. That's not going to fly with me.
Now, I get it that you're fans and you're responsible for them, but man, like, you're Coach Saban, you're responsible for 10,000 drunk students in the student section that stormed the field. That's where I'm like, I don't know what the answer is, but I'm almost like, really, you're gonna punish your own teams for. But again, it's more so hoping that this is enough to deter students from doing that. Like, we don't want to be the student section that's responsible for our team losing a win or getting a forfeiture that cost us a playoff spot and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's part of the deterrent. Like, you kind of like put it out there, and then you as the schools, you play a role in it too, to put out those PSAs. I mean, they were quick to put out PSAs about wearing masks and things like that. So put out PSAs about not rushing the field, party in the stands and things of that nature, and designated party areas to celebrate after the game. You hear this on the PA at the shoe. Rushing the field is strictly prohibited. You will be prosecuted up to the fullest extent of the law. You will be locked up in jail, yada, yada, yada. Like, getting behind it, that can help you out.
Kenner and Kev, 1410 Wing AM. Mark Smith on Facebook. He says the goalposts aren't cheap either. That is that's for
It's
sure.
all about the money, dog. And I got some names for you that I would like the Cavs to go after.
Oh, we'll go back to that
Yeah,
on the other
man.
side. Plus, I want to talk a little bit. Dylan Brooks against LeBron James. Something happened in that game that I'm not calling for a suspension, but I'm going to call the hypocrisy of the NBA. I'm going to use an analogy for all of you who have siblings. Some of you were either the instigator, or some of you had the sibling that was the instigator, and who always got in trouble. It was never the instigator. It was always the person who reacted, right? Well, the NBA needs to change that up. Sometimes it shouldn't always be punishing the guy that reacted. Maybe to deter some of these things from happening, you should get ahead of it with the guys that started, the instigators. We'll talk about that. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, if they go on to lose this series, which seems pretty likely at this point, and it's unfortunate. Obi Toppin and the New York Knicks, Dayton Flyers Obi Toppin, of course, might be heading to the second round. But if that's the case, this is going to be considered an upset, and it's going to be a long offseason for the Cavs, especially after a season that has been deemed pretty historic for them, especially if they built this team the right way. They homegrown players all over the place. They topped it off with the star player and then offseason acquisition, of course, and Donovan Mitchell. So we'll talk about all that on the other side. Kenner and Kev, 1410 Wing AM.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
The NBA playoffs are here, and you can turn crossovers into cash with FanDuel. Just visit FanDuel.com/Kinner, Kinner, right now and place a $5 bet, and you'll get an instant $150 back in bonus bets, win or lose. FanDuel is honestly one of the best, in my opinion, at offering so many great promotions for new and existing customers. I do have to say, though, that this deal for new customers is pretty cool. $150 in bonus bets, win or lose after placing at least a $5 bet. This is a great promotional deal for new customers. There is no better place to bet all of the playoff action than America's #1 sportsbook. Just go to FanDuel.com/Kinner and sign up to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet your first $5. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. You must be 21 and older and present in Ohio. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-785-1155. That's 800-785-1155. 800-785-1155.
Hi, Greg McAfee here with McAfee Heating and Air. There has never been a better time to start a new career. If you are 18 years or older with a high school diploma or GED and enjoy working with your hands, consider the McAfee Apprenticeship Program, where you will learn everything you need through in-class and on-the-job training. Apply today at mcair.com. That's mcair.com.
The days of the week mean value at the home for fun food, sports, and spirits, Frickers. Monday, boneless freaking chicken wings. Tuesday, traditional freaking chicken wings. Wednesday, sirloin steak special. Thursday, freaking chicken chunks. Frickers offers even more savings by offering double points on everyday values when you download and use the Frickers app. Double points on everyday value purchases. The place that saves you more money every day is the home for fun food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Spend less time maintaining your deck and more time relaxing on it with Ultra Deck. Low maintenance decking from Menards. Ultra Deck Rustic gives you the look of real wood without the upkeep. Start enjoying your deck today and get 8, 12, and 16-foot lengths of Ultra Deck Rustic decking for just $195 per lineal foot after rebate. Good through April 30th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Keep counting at those stop signs, Alex. Full stop and doesn't go until she counts to 5, McSweeney. Because you are a safe driver. And like most drivers who sign up for Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate for how and how much you drive, you could earn a discount for your good driving. So don't turn into an Alex rolling stop and goes whenever she wants, McSweeney. Because once an Alex full stop and doesn't go until she counts to 5, McSweeney, always an Alex full stop. Well, you know the rest. Sign up for Snapshot today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in all states or from all agents.
My friends, baseball is back, and the push for the postseason is on for hockey and hoops. Make it all count this spring with Superbook Sports. Superbook Sports is the best wagering app around with the direct line to experienced bookmakers behind the counter in Las Vegas. Plus, get a $250 bonus when you sign up, deposit, and wager in the same day. Don't let spring pass you by without winning money with Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially since you're always growing and changing. Therapy is all about deepening that self-awareness, because sometimes you don't know what you really want until you talk things through. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. Visit betterhelp.com/score to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/score.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Pennzoil Platinum can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $37.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Discover credit cards do something awesome at the end of your first year. They automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right. Everything you've earned doubled. See terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
If you're a sports fan in the Miami Valley, make sure you subscribe to Dayton's ESPN Radio YouTube channel. Buckeyes, Browns, Bengals, local high school sports, Dayton Flyers, Wright State Raiders, and more. Search ESPN Dayton on YouTube and subscribe today.
Kenner and Cab back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. All right, so we've seen the ejections like with Joel Embiid when a player steps over him and then he responds by kicking at him, right? We've seen, obviously, with everything with Draymond Green. He has his ankle held on a few occasions, finally loses it. Stone Cold stomps his ass. I mean, it just goes off, right? And we've seen Dylan Brooks just really be an instigator, all that stuff. He bagged LeBron James in yesterday's or 2 days ago, whatever the game was, over the weekend. And the thing that was most interesting to me is that, you know, he was he ejected for that right off the bat, but he wasn't suspended for it.
No. Wasn't
suspended. Okay. And the thing that drives me nuts about this stuff is I'm not really calling for the suspension necessarily, but I do hate how the NBA is always like, they remind me of our parents. Right. Like when I was a kid, now I benefited from this. I was the Dylan Brooks. I was the guy, I was the instigator. I would always tick off my brother and then get my brother to react. And then all of a sudden my brother's getting yelled at and I'm sitting over there with that smile on my face, like, haha, I won. That happens to I think we all experience that if you have siblings, of course. So with that being said, it just drives you crazy because, you know, eventually my parents caught on and now we both, you know, eventually I got in trouble and my brother got in trouble. That way, you know, there was no equal, there was no, I'm sorry, victim in the, you know, picking on one another. It was, you're both in trouble. Boom. That's how you solve it. What drives me nuts is watching, you know, him not get suspended. But if like LeBron James, I mean, by the way, you bag somebody, you deserve anything that comes your way. Luckily, that old man didn't have it in him to get up and whoop your ass for doing that, by the way. But if LeBron would have just gone up and just squarely punched him in the face, Kev, I would support that 100%. You don't bag somebody. You really don't grab their ankles. You don't do stuff. You certainly don't do that. Like You deserve anything that happens to you after that. That's fair game. And what drives me nuts is, let's say maybe people will say, well, they wouldn't suspend LeBron, but let's just say if it's just any player, you get bagged, you respond and swing on him, you're suspended. That stuff drives me nuts. You grab the ankles, you instigate it, you get the stomp to the gut, Draymond's suspended. Mm-hmm. You know, Joel Embiid gets tossed, not the guy that, you know, was stepping over.
No, Joel didn't get tossed.
Oh, he didn't get tossed.
Right. Joel kicked him. He didn't get tossed,
they
but
were talking about the potential suspension.
Claxton dunked on Embiid and flexed, and he got his second technical, and then he got ejected. Yeah, but Harden got ejected for his swipe.
It was hard. See, I'm all over on this. My bad. But the point
it's so many, you can't keep up.
Now, I'm not calling for suspensions. I think that the NBA complains because they get labeled as a soft league, and then they confirm it by suspending everyone because, again, they don't want this malice at the palace type thing. But stop it with that. There's been one malice at the palace, one too many, and I completely get that. But at the same time, that came from a drink being thrown from the stands, not from Joel Embiid getting dunked on and stepped over. But nonetheless, I bring this up because it's like the NBA. Why is it always the person that responds getting in trouble and not the person that's instigating it? That's why Draymond and these guys all do what they do. Now, Draymond got suspended because he reacted, but they played his own game against him. It was reverse psychology is what it was. But it drives me nuts. I'm not calling for Dillon Brooks to be suspended, but if you're going to suspend someone for punching him in the face if he bags you, then you better be, if you really care about that stuff, stop it before it gets worse. I don't know. It just drives me nuts. Watching Dillon Brooks just go on like it was no big deal just irritates the heck out of me.
I think for the NBA, what they're trying to do, and what I can appreciate, is they're trying to judge intent. I don't think that Dillon Brooks tried to hit LeBron below the region. I think he was really trying to go for the ball. But what we talked about the other day about Philly and the Nets game, not only Joel Embiid should have been kicked out that game, he probably should have been suspended as well because he clearly tried to kick Nick Claxton in the man zone. And then on the same game, Harden is swiping through trying to draw contact, and he hit Royce in the man zone, and he was kicked out the game, but he wasn't suspended. So, like, for me, it's just like we don't know as a fan base what you're going to call, how lenient you're going to be towards anybody. Obviously, the situation with Draymond, it's not only the stepping, but it was kind of like the liftoff situation too, to get a little bounce going. And then he pulling the whole wrestler routine, barking at the crowd, calling people P words and screaming at the top of his lungs and things of that nature. Like all that type of stuff adds up. It's a situation where your past does come back to haunt you, and rightfully so. I don't know if I made this analogy on the show last week, but if you get one speeding ticket, you pay your fine and you keep it moving. You get 2 speeding tickets, you pay your fine and they're giving you that side eye. You get 3 speeding tickets, you lose your license. And that's where Draymond is. He's in a situation where he is constantly in the league's office for all the wrong reasons. So I don't have a problem with him being suspended at all. Dillon Brooks, like, okay, you are on the verge of being in the same class as Draymond Green. For the next thing that you do, you're probably going to be suspended and you're probably going to be heavily fined and things of that nature. And trust me, Dillon Brooks, you don't make as much money as a Draymond Green. You're a second round pick. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to hurt him and his team because, like him or not, he's a good player for that team. So for me, I appreciate what the league is trying to do. And this kind of goes to what the NFL talks about, like with roughing the passer or, pass interference, things of that nature. They don't try to judge intent. They just say, hey, if you do it, this is a penalty, period, point blank. And that's why there's never any questions about that in the NBA. In the NBA, it always seems like there's shades of gray all the time.
Either way, the playoffs have been fun.
Yeah.
And I like the Draymond stuff. I think, we should see more of the Draymond stop. Not really, but I don't mind it. 518-1410, Kenner and Kev, 1410 Wing AM. We talked about the Cavaliers a little bit ago. Cavaliers have a chance to extend the series tomorrow, but they're down to Obi Toppin and the New York Knicks. Game 5 tomorrow. Trying to fight off elimination. Can the Cavs do it?
Wednesday. The game is on
Wednesday. So Wednesday night, if they don't win, their season's over, and it's going to be the blame game. We're talking about ways that the Cavs can quickly improve this roster and where they have to improve it. They don't need a superstar player, but they need toughness. They need some guys that are going to be physical. They're going to go get some rebounds that are going to kind of hold their own. The Cavs look soft right now. You said you have a list of a couple of names real quick off the top of your head.
Yeah, one guy, Grant Williams. He is the 6th man for the Celtics. He's looking for a bigger role. He's a 3-and-D guy. He can definitely shoot the three. He's a 40% 3-point shooter on his career. He will be a perfect spot for that small forward position. Kelly Oubre plays for the Hornets right now, a 35% 3-point shooter for his career. A good energy guy, can play defense and shoot the three. Mason Plumlee, former Duke guy. He's not a wing guy, but he's a guy that can play either the power forward or the center position, currently playing for the Clippers. He's an unrestricted free agent, so he can add some toughness and some athleticism to that front line, give, the big guys a rest. Jay Crowder, unrestricted free agent, a guy that I was desperately wanting them to get this past season. They weren't unable to make it happen. He ended up signing with the Bucks, so he's another guy that's always on my radar. And Torrey Craig, 40% 3-point shooter for the Suns this season. He's an unrestricted free agent. I know it's going to take a lot for him to leave playing with Kevin Durant and Booker and Chris Paul and living in Phoenix, Arizona, to come all the way to Cleveland, Ohio. But sometimes you have to overpay to get those type of guys on your team. I think Torrey Craig is a lesser version of Jay Crowder. So I would love for them to get Torrey Craig and Plumlee.
Yeah, see, the Cavs are at the point now where they got all the fun, exciting stuff done.
Yeah.
Now they're putting that offensive line together. There's nothing sexy about offensive line off seasons, as Bengals fans could relate to.
3-and-D guys, they're hard to come by, man.
Absolutely. Kenner and Kev, 1410 Wing AM.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
O'Reilly. Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Premium Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to dissipate heat and friction and reduce wear. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99. Limits apply. See store for details. Get Syntec only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns. Here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you or any of your family members, neighbors, or friends own a property that you just want to be done with it? If so, call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you to take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. Call 614-470-2000. That's 614-470-2000.
With over 15 years of experience as your local lawn health provider, Lawn Plus knows what it takes to provide a thick, healthy lawn. We offer fertilization and weed control programs, aeration and seeding, as the best defense against weeds is a thick turf. If your current lawn care company is providing 6 to 8 applications, that is far too many. We offer the highest quality products and service to get the best results in just 4 applications a year. Call us today at 937-839-LAWN, and remember, if you give a weed an inch, it'll take a yard.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Make hiring easier with the Workforce Experts. Hiring is about finding the right person, so let the team at Express Employment Professionals recruit for you. Visit expresspros.com.
The Keith Byers Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Hang out with College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers every Monday at noon on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Kenner and Cav live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. So the other night at the Cavs game, Madison Square Garden, Rick Pitino was there.
Coach Pitino.
Remember when we had Coach Jarvis in about a month or 2 months ago, back in March?
Mhm.
He brought up a good point that, this was before Rick Pitino was hired with St. John's. And we were just talking to Coach Jarvis, legendary St. John's coach, about what are some things that, why isn't it since Coach Jarvis, why has there not been a coach that's been able to tap into that and make it work? And he goes, well, just a lot of things you got to do. You got to have that New York state of mind. You got to get games back at Madison Square Garden. And sure enough, not even a month after Rick Pitino's hiring, he's adamant that he wants all league games, all Big East games at Madison Square Garden. And that includes select non-con games too, like some of the bigger ones, of course. Like, I thought that was interesting that's right off the bat. That was one of Rick Pitino's big things. But Rick Pitino was at MSG over the weekend for the Cavs Knicks playoff series. And this tweet just kind of made me laugh a little bit because he said, Rick Pitino tweets that, so yesterday I was enjoying the Knicks game and someone read my lips on TV giving out my phone number. He got over 300 plus messages. He goes, the bizarre news is that over 95% were nice and positive.
Oh, wow.
But like people read, like you focus that much, but he was the exact time that the camera was on him, he's giving out his phone number. Probably illegally to a recruit, no. But that's wild to me. But the funny part was he said 95% of them were all positive. So that's kind of rare,
Very rare. Very.
People tweeted out his phone number over the air.
That is crazy. Could you imagine that? You just sitting there at the game, give out your number to somebody or whatever, and then just boom, bring, text message, bring. You like, wait a minute. Why am I getting all? Who are these people? What's going on? Like that's scary.
He said he got a lead on 7 new recruits.
There it is.
So
it was all worth it.
You got to do what you got to do.
I'm sure he has a burner phone.
De'Aaron Fox sprained left hand.
Goodness gracious, man.
That's his shoot. He's a lefty.
Yes, sir.
You talked about. So that's, at first I was like, oh, that's not that. I mean, that's a big deal. Any injury is a big deal, but that's your shooting hand. Now, the problem is you have John Morant who hurt his hand, his shooting hand
too,
and goes off. So it's like De'Aaron Fox, unfortunately, he's not going to get the benefit of the doubt if he doesn't play well. And it's ironic too, because this is just immediately as there's comparisons started to be made between the two. Like it's De'Aaron Fox and John Morant, like the potential new faces of the league moving forward. If that's the case. And then you have this situation where he's going to be compared to Ja. Well, how do you play through injuring your shooting hand? I think it's a little bit more severe though. Ja's looked severe. They made it act like it was severe. It didn't look severe yesterday. So who knows what's going on.
He missed what game did he miss? He missed game 2. Yeah, he missed game 2, came back for game 3. Was attacking the rim like a maniac as he always does, dropped with like 42 in their loss. So yeah, he came back, but injuries have been an unfortunate part of the playoffs in the first round. You talked about Giannis and his back situation, Kawhi with the knee again, and then Embiid, I forgot what was wrong with him. Freaking Tyler Hero broke his hand. It's like dudes are just going down left and right. It's a war of attrition out here, man. Who's gonna make it to the finish line?
Stephen A. Smith, Kawhi Leonard, said he's the worst superstar of all time. Now, Stephen A. Smith said he stands by what he said, but he did apologize. There was a tragic family incident with over the weekend in his family that involved his sister.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of you guys saw that, but he did say, had he known that wouldn't have been an opinion that he had at that time. He goes, or at least it wouldn't have been an opinion that needed to go out at that time. But they totally, they didn't even talk about it on First Take and all that stuff today. But Jay Williams is, he's like, when guys refer to them as new media, where they're protecting their own athletes, like against the JJ Redick's doing it, like it's creating like, that's why you get some of these awkward like riffs on air between the likes of Stephen A. Smith and Jay Williams. It's because it's Stephen A. Smith, your traditional on-air personality, doing his personality thing. It says things that rubs athletes the wrong way, and Jay Williams is looking through a scope of an athlete,
right?
And it leads to some very entertaining clashes on TV, in my opinion. We've seen it with JJ Redick. It happens all the time. You want to talk about an old school guy with Mad Dog Russo. I mean, I watch athletes cringe sitting next to Mad Dog Russo on First Take because he is old school, and it's old school. I mean, it's and it just cracks me up. But like, these guys are coming at older media or old school media mindsets and attacking them from that. And Jay Will, I was having nothing. I wish I had the sound. I should pull the sound when he was going at Stephen A. Smith about this very thing. Kawhi Leonard out again. And it's just one of those things where it's not even surprising anymore.
Right.
It's kind of like when Anthony Davis goes out. It's no longer we feel bad for him. It's just rolling your eyes saying, just get off the floor and just get out of the way. We as fans, robots, we don't look at them as human beings. It's not right. Not wrong. It's not right. I get that. But like, as fans, we play video games. We play these guys as video games.
Right.
Like they're just there for our entertainment, right or wrong. That's the reality of it for 90% of fans out there. Then there's the good human beings like Kevin Nash who view them as people. But Stephen A. Smith said he's the worst superstar ever. Where do you what do you think of that? I know what he's trying to say.
I get what he's trying to say. I understand what he's trying to say. It's just the frustrating part. Is like, man, look, when you're on the court, you're one of the baddest dudes out there, but you're never on the court. So for me, I just simply go to, do we always think that these dudes are pulling the load management? Do we always think these dudes are just faking like they don't want to play? Or is something wrong? I mean, broken bone, like that's not fake. Like rolling your ankle, writhing in pain because your back went out. We talking about Embiid and Kawhi Leonard. These are two guys that are known to have bad knees. So when their knee goes out, what do you expect? This isn't new. This isn't news. When you see Ja Morant flying through the air from the free throw line and crashing on his hand, what do you think is going to happen? His hand's messed up. He's not going to play. Like, so for me, I just like, I don't get it. The evidence is out there on the court. Like, it happens. We see them get hurt. And I think people just like want to rely on the 80s and 90s, and they fought through everything. They want to rely on Isaiah Thomas in the finals that they lost to the Los Angeles Lakers. He rolled his ankle and he went out there and scored 21 points in the third quarter to help them win the game. It's just not simply like that anymore, man. If they're hurt, they're not going to play. And ultimately, we as fans don't like it. And shoot, I'm sure their teammates don't like it either. Me as a fan, I don't like it either. I mean, I want to see Embiid out there. I want to see Giannis out there. I want to see all these dudes, especially in the playoffs. But for me, I don't get sometimes where people come from that say they're faking it. Like, does it look like he's faking it? Does it look like Ja Morant was faking that his hand was messed up? I saw him land on his hand when he was like horizontal in the air. You go do that. Let me see how your hand works out for you. I'm sure you won't be at your job typing on your keyboard either.
Problem is, and by the way, I agree with you. I've never once thought of players faking it. I'm just tired of it. Like, I know it hurts. I'm just tired. I just want to watch the Stars play. I wanted to watch Kevin Durant against, I hate the load management stuff, but the thing is that I hate load management even more now because load management was supposed to prevent this.
Right.
Now you can't prevent injury. I mean, like if you step on someone's foot and it doesn't roll, it's like, well, that's because I didn't play 82 games this year. My foot is stronger. If I played 82 games, my foot would have just collapsed. Well, then you're not a good athlete then. I'm just going to say, but no, he has a degenerative issue. I get that. But I think what it comes down to is we just want you out there.
Yeah.
And if you're not out there, we don't care what the reason is. Just like you don't care why we can't do our job and yada, yada. Like I've used those talking points, but the point is at some point it's fatigue.
Yeah.
Non-Lakers fans, non-NBA fans are tired of hearing about Anthony Davis not being available. Non-NBA fans are tired about when they do hear about the NBA, it's Kawhi Leonard not playing. Like those things are just getting annoying. And I know, but by the way, I disagree with Stephen A. Smith. You can't say a two-time Finals MVP, a two-time NBA champion, two different teams is one of the worst professional athletes of all time. I think this has been the most unreliable run. Like, by the way, I'm not comparing Lamar Jackson to this because you have one that has a degenerative issue and the other is just a guy that's missed some games down the stretch the last 2 years. But Kawhi Leonard is a guy that should prove why teams are always reluctant to go all in on athletes. And then when they don't, they get, oh, you're a bad franchise. Ravens, you're a bad franchise. Now they could have locked this up before the injuries really became an issue with Lamar. Let's just be real. But the point is now when teams are reluctant to pay Kawhi Leonard moving forward, I don't want to hear that, oh, this is a dumb organization. I can't believe that they won't pay him. This is why you can't pay him. The other thing is his personality makes it difficult to sympathize with them. Article came out today on The Athletic. He's ghosted teammates at times. He's ghosted front office personnel. I mean, we rip on Aaron Rodgers for doing this. We don't give him he's great at what he does, so we got to give him a pass. Some try. They're Packers fans. I'm not. I think that's ridiculous. You can't talk to your boss. I'd love to ghost our boss, our old boss, our new boss. I like her. But you see the point. It's going to be interesting moving forward to see how all this pans out. I don't know what the future of Kawhi Leonard is, but that dude gets paid. When I heard Perkins today say they need to move on. What does that mean? Does he have years left on his deal? I mean, what does that mean? I ain't trading for him. If I'm the Cavs or anyone and they say, hey, do you want him? No, I don't. I want someone that's going to be out there, and you just can't trust him to be out there. Anthony Davis, same thing.
Of course you can get a haul for him. Of course. I mean,
you think teams
would
give up?
Of course. It's Kawhi Leonard.
But this is like the same, but it's this Kawhi Leonard.
They always think that they can fix it. They always think that, like, all right, he's doing that to them. He gets with our team. We can manage it better than that team. We can do this better than that team. We know better than that team. It sometimes, to use one of your phrases, is just bad luck. Because who in their right mind thought that, like, okay, his first year, his knee is going to go out, and he's only going to be out there with Kawhi Leonard missing it's only going to be Paul George out there. then he's going to miss an entire year. Then when he finally healthy, then Paul George is going to get hurt. So, like, they've never been out there at the same time. So you never had a chance to see this quote-unquote dynamic duo play together. Like, it's crazy because I really think talent-wise, if they were actually out there together, they could win the championship. But they're never out there together. So to your point about load management, is it really working? I don't think it is. I truly don't think it is. Like, so you don't play and you still get hurt. So what is it actually preventing? Is it preventing you from getting tired? Because, I mean, that's just a cardio thing. Go run some stadiums. Like, is this, I just don't understand how these dudes have, we talk about like, okay, in today's world, medicine is better. The athletes are bigger, faster, stronger. All these things that are better than, you know, the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But they play less games. How is that even remotely possible? How could you have all the technological advantages over all the previous players and you play less? How is that possible? Forget the regular season. Fine. We'll say regular season doesn't matter. It's all about the playoffs. You're missing playoff games too. How is that possible?
Yeah, that's what I meant earlier. But like,
how?
It was the regular season I hate, but if the result of that is to give us these awesome games come April, May, and June, then all right, I could enjoy it right now and say, okay, maybe it's worth it. Now I'll get ticked again come November, December when the dudes aren't playing again. But if the payoff is supposed to be these months, April, May, June, and we're not even getting these, you told us that our product's gonna be a little iffy during the regular season, but that's so that we have a better product come April, May, June. It's the same story every year, especially with Kawhi.
Yeah,
that Lux 1 year kept, but 3 years,
yeah,
that's who you are. Same thing with we talked about Zion a few weeks ago.
Oh god,
I was like, everyone's like, oh, they should just trade him. I'm like, I mean, trade him, but I'd rather keep him and hope that he just plays a stretch for me than trade him and get nothing in return at the risk of him figuring it out somewhere else. But I don't see what the return would be. I don't know. I'd be, if a team gives up a lot to get him, man. But like you say that, but then like, why in the NFL, maybe it's a different mindset. But like I always thought too, I thought teams would be lining up to get Lamar. I still would think it's silly because the reasons they're not paying him are the reasons it's the injury thing too. But no one's lining up. So
Nobody.
it's like a different mindset, I guess, in the NFL.
The NFL is a totally different animal, totally different conversation. I think really the load management became a league-wide thing after they saw Golden State go for the regular season record of wins. They got the 73 wins in the regular season, and Steph played a ton of minutes, Clay played a ton of minutes, and they got worn down in the playoffs. And like they point to that. When they played, they try to go for the record. They wore down and ultimately lost to the Cavs. That's the reason they lost. So we're going to do load management to make sure our stars, our best players are at their peak when it matters the most. And I honestly think it's just backfiring on the entire NBA because the biggest stars in the league are hurt in the playoffs too. You know, it's a war of attrition right now. And normally that phrase is used for the NFL, but like, I've never seen guys get hurt at this clip in the NBA.
Big news.
What's popping?
We need a breaking news alarm or something.
I'm going to wait. I'm not even going to touch my phone. I'm going to wait for you to tell me.
I was told we're not allowed to do a breaking news alarm.
I know. Yeah.
Apparently the FCC don't like that or something. I don't know.
We
just got to
can
get like
do a breaking news.
Like just a jingle or something.
Oh, okay. I'll work on that tomorrow. I'm going to work on that tomorrow. I know exactly what to do.
Breaking news. Big trade out of the National Football League. It's huge. Huge. It's the biggest news since Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon. Bigger than that.
Stick to sport.
Huge. We'll get to the huge NFL news when we come back. Big trade.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Our forecast, a freeze warning in effect with a low of 34 tonight, and then patchy frost and a slight chance of showers tomorrow in 58, and then sunshine and 59 on Wednesday. I'm Rick Shrimp for 1410 ESPN Radio.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why. because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Everyone knows you can have a lot of fun outside. But did you know that spending time outdoors is actually good for you? That's right, spending time in the outdoors can have a positive impact on your body and your mind. Even 15 minutes outside a day can lower your stress and help you feel better. So get out there, visit an Ohio park, and thrive outside. Are you in crisis? Contact Ohio's Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Call, text, or chat 988.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new place. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
The days of the week mean value at the home for fun food, sports, and spirits, Frickers. Monday, boneless freaking chicken wings. Tuesday, traditional freaking chicken wings. Wednesday, sirloin steak special. Thursday, frickin' chicken chunks. Frickers offers even more savings by offering double points on everyday values when you download and use the Frickers app. Double points on everyday value purchases. The place that saves you more money every day is the home for fun food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
QC Kinetics patient Diane Richardson saw her brother-in-law have surgery for pain in his elbow.
My brother-in-law, after that surgery, had his arm in a sling for almost 6 months, extensive PT, pain medication, a lot of restrictions of what he could not do.
So when Diane's husband, Greg, had a similar problem, she encouraged a different treatment, regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. And the experience was like night and day compared to his brother.
After 6 months, nothing. He hasn't felt any pain, and that has been 2 years since he's had treatment.
Plus, no drugs and no downtime.
He was literally out golfing when he wanted to and doing whatever he wanted to. It was probably 9 months before my brother-in-law got back out on the golf course, and my husband was on the golf course the entire time. And he was so elated. He said, Diane, game changer.
Before you have surgery for that joint pain, get a second opinion. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325. 937-936-0325.
Need an online notary? We can help. Hi, this is Mike Foley, your Montgomery County Clerk of Courts. We can notarize your documents remotely at no charge to you. All you need is a smartphone or laptop. Visit courthouse2u.com for more info.
Hurry and shop the final days of SpringFest at Lowe's. Save big on all you need for spring, inside and outside the home. Shop Lowe's today because Lowe's knows home improvement.
ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel is where you can watch Dayton's only local sports talk show. Hang out with Kinner and Kev weekdays at 3 p.m. on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
Well, it finally happened. The trade that was official 6 weeks ago is officially official 6 weeks later. It makes no sense, but here we are. The terms of the trade between the Packers and the Jets is finally known. Aaron Rodgers, officially headed to the AFC, has officially ended his time in Green Bay and is now a New York Jets, Jets, Jets. And Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback that I have not always been a big fan of. However, at the end of the day, I still think that he is a top 5 quarterback in the National Football League, and there is not a whole lot of quarterbacks I would take over Aaron Rodgers. I think it's pretty simple. When you take talent away from your quarterback, they don't look as good. So for those of you last year who said, hey, he didn't look that good last year, you mean when you lose Devontae Adams and your team doesn't invest in your offense, you don't win your 3rd straight MVP? That's so weird. How about Tom Brady in his last year with the New England Patriots? Everyone thought he was ready to retire, right? He was ready to retire. His last pass ever with the New England Patriots was a pick 6 in the playoffs, and everyone was like, man, that's how his career in New England ends. And that's probably going to be a precursor to what to expect from Tom Brady moving forward. Guess what? Tom Brady goes to Tampa. They put talent around him, and all of a sudden he's an MVP-level quarterback again, winning Super Bowls. So I do not think that Aaron Rodgers last year lost his step or all of a sudden just forgot how to play the position. Aaron Rodgers is going to do a lot of really good things in New York. And like I said, there is not a whole lot of quarterbacks that I would take over Aaron Rodgers. And I think he is going to return to form when it comes to that, especially. So I'm pretty excited about this, Kev. The deals of the trade officially known. Very weird what they did. So the Jets get Aaron Rodgers in the 15th overall pick plus a 5th round pick.
Okay.
Now, the Packers get the 13th overall pick plus a 2nd and a 6th round pick. So the Packers still got their 1st round, kind of. They just
flip-flopped.
They just flip-flopped.
And you were talking about they get a 1st round pick if Rodgers plays how many percent of the snaps?
So the Packers will get a 2nd round pick of 2024, but it becomes a 1st round pick if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps this upcoming season.
So next year's 2nd round pick for sure, potentially a 1st round pick.
Yes. So
they ultimately did get their 1st round pick, but it wasn't this year's 1st round pick. And I'm with the Jets. I want to use this pick. So they still keep their 1st round pick from this year. It just flip-flop. So it's a good move for the Jets for sure. I think it's a good move for everybody involved. He didn't want to be there no more. They didn't want him anymore. They were ready to move on. Ultimately, they're going to get a 1st round pick next year. So it's a good move for everybody involved. Jets got their quarterback. So now the pressure is officially on the Jets.
And there's a good chance you talk about some of the pass catchers that can come off the board. Tight end Tyler Conklin for the Jets, not bad, but now you're hearing that they could potentially be the ones that go and get Mayer from Notre Dame. The Jets could also, if they're Jackson, Smith, and Jigba. It sounds like the Jets are going to give Aaron Rodgers another wide receiver, which still to me is kind of odd only because Aaron Rodgers doesn't do well with rookie wide receivers. But at the same time, what's the difference between a rookie wide receiver and a 2nd-year wide receiver? Because that's what he's dealing with a lot on this roster. Look, you have Aaron Rodgers, very good offensive line. Now you have Breece Hall at running back in his 2nd year, so you have flexibility there. And then you have Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, Alan Lazard, and I still think they're going to take a receiver in this draft, and I think it could potentially be Jackson Smith and Jigba if he's there. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to return to MVP form. Like I said, I use Tom Brady as an example. Tom Brady looked washed up that last year in New England. You go to Tampa, you put talent around him, and all of a sudden he just returned to his glory days. I don't think it said he returned to his glory days. I think it was just, he has talent around him now, right, and boom, off you go. I think that's the case with Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying he's going to win the MVP, but there's a very good chance because I think he's back to MVP form, and this is more talent. I don't think there's a player as talented as Adams on this roster, but this collectively is the most talented roster that he's played on in the last 10 years. So I think that Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, that's going to be a problem in the AFC, that's for sure.
I think they go tackle. I think they go the kid from Northwestern or Broderick Jones from Georgia or the great Paris Johnson from the Ohio State University. I think they have to shore up that offensive line. That was a weaker point for them. I forget the guy they got from Virginia a couple of years ago. He's been banged up with injuries, hasn't been able to play, like I want to say the last 2 seasons. I think they go offensive tackle with that first pick with the Jets.
Just got a note. You say he's a top 5 quarterback in the AFC. Where in that top 5 is he? Patrick Mahomes. I'm taking Aaron Rodgers right after that.
Wow.
Not spinning the pot. What was that? Stirring the pot or anything like that. He's a guy that won back-to-back MVPs. You took his number 1 wide receiver away. Best receiver becomes a rookie. Yeah, I kind of think that's the explanation for what kept him from winning a 3rd straight MVP. And the fact that the Packers just weren't very good. So that's really what it comes down to for me. I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan from the talent. I don't like his personality. Drives me up the wall. It's very me. But when you're me and can back it up, and he has done that, obviously it's going to come down to needing to provide the Super Bowl. This team has to at least get to the AFC Championship game. And that's the big question now. Okay, he's a Jet. It's what or bust if you're the New York Jets. Now that you have Aaron Rodgers.
Super Bowl or bust. They have to go to the Super Bowl, or it's a bust of a season.
Is that the same for the Chiefs?
Yes.
The Bengals?
Yes.
The Bills?
Yes.
Okay, so you're consistent.
all those dudes
you're
up
good,
there.
You're good. I just because
Yes.
everyone's definition, because some people have a Super Bowl, there's one team that's Super Bowl or bust, but there's a lot of teams that are Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah. It's the Chiefs, if they don't make it, I guess I should rephrase that for the Chiefs. I mean, they've won 2. So, if you don't make it, you kind of get a mulligan. But, for the Cincinnati Bengals, if you made it to the AFC Championship game back-to-back years, 1 year winning it, going to the Super Bowl, well, the obviously next step is to make it to the Super Bowl and win it. So for the Buffalo Bills, everybody and their mom had them coming out the AFC this year. They lost to the Bengals in the second round of the playoffs, so they have to get to the Super Bowl. And then when you add a Hall of Fame quarterback to your roster that's already stacked with a whole bunch of young talent, it's Super Bowl or bust. So Super Bowl or bust for the Jets, Bills, Bengals, and I could go either way with the Chiefs. I mean, they could go 8-8 this year. Can't go 8-8 anymore. I hate that they did that. They can go 8-9 this year, and I wouldn't be over the moon about it. I wouldn't be like, oh man, the run's over. Like, you had a down year. Oh well. But for those 3 teams, Bills, Jets, Bengals, you have to make it to the Super Bowl.
So everyone knows I'm not a big OBJ fan, but this right here just solidifies OBJ. And what I mean by this is go get your money. No problem with it. What you can't do is go get your money and pretend that you didn't just have your money in mind, because this is another opportunity where he's had the choice. This is the second time where OBJ has had an opportunity to pick where he wants to go play. And he didn't get it wrong choosing to go to LA, by the way. He did not. That was not wrong. But you also chose LA over playing with Patrick Mahomes. You had a chance to play with Patrick Mahomes again. And by the way, maybe the first time you don't want to go there where there's Tyreek Hill and others, but you could have gone to Kansas City right now and been one of the primary pass catchers for Patrick Mahomes. And you chose to go where Huntley is. And I'm not convinced Lamar's going back. So you ultimately, you're going to play with Huntley. You also had a chance. I mean, it sounded like it was full steam ahead. He was going to be a Jet, and instead picks Huntley in the 18 mil over being a Jet. Again, no problem. Go get your money. I'll never say that that's a bad thing, but don't do the whole competitive thing. I'm not saying he doesn't want to win, but I don't think you want to win as bad as some others when you choose to go play for Huntley over Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes and really any other elite level quarterback that you had the chance to play with. And you could say, well, he wants to play with Lamar. Well, then wait until Lamar picks a team or gets to a team before you decide. It's just wild that I'm looking at this Jets roster. Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard. I forgot they added Mecole Hardman as a speed wide receiver. Maybe they don't take a receiver in that first round. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is about, going the boring pick, but the safe one. They have enough, especially with Breece Hall right there too at running back. It's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening there. I think you look at that division, Kev. I mean, is it the Jets? Who's winning that AFC East? You have the Bills, Dolphins, now Jets, and the Dolphins are loaded too. This AFC East, and it's wild, by the way. It used to be the Patriots and everyone else. Now it's everyone else and the Patriots. Is it a coin flip? Who wins this division?
It's a 3-man race. Stop me if you heard that one before. I have no clue. I have absolutely no clue. And I think the tread is off the tires for the Bills, that they're not like the hot, cool new team that everybody's in love with anymore. They've transitioned over to the Dolphins, but the Dolphins have the question mark about Tua. Can he stay healthy with the concussions and everything like that? But they got all the toys. So I think all the money is going to be on the Jets to win the AFC East. And like I said before, Super Bowl or bust.
All right. 518-1410, 518-1410. I have Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow 3rd, Josh Allen 4th, Justin Herbert 5. I will put Deshaun in there. I have to see it first. But for right now, that's where it's really at for me as far as the AFC is concerned. I actually, if I open it up to the NFC, are you putting Jalen Hurts ahead of any of those guys? And I like Jalen Hurts. We're going to get to Jalen in a moment. But Jalen Hurts, no. And that speaks volumes of the NFL right now. If Jalen Hurts is the 6th or 7th best quarterback in the NFL, that speaks to the depth of the league. Like, let's just be clear at this point. So it's going to be interesting nonetheless.
We talk about Super. My bad. I don't really mean to cut you off. But we agree about Bills, Jets, Bengals, and I guess Kansas City Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah. Yep.
Are there any Super Bowl or bust teams in the NFC besides the Eagles?
As of right now, no. The NFC is bad. By the way, the Browns, should they be there? I think they make moves. Like, the other teams are so good that they're Super Bowl or bust. The Browns are constructed to be Super Bowl or bust.
No, I don't think so. I think the Browns can make the playoffs and win a first game, and that's a good season.
My problem is that the roster's so stacked. And by the way, I'm not doing a Browns homer thing here. I'm actually doing the opposite. I'm actually not giving them a pass, mainly because this is the most talented Browns roster that they're going to have moving forward because, again, the contracts are starting to pile up now. So they were able to do the signing bonus thing with Deshaun's contract this year. I think they could do it another year. But ultimately, they're going to have to start moving on from some names. Like Nick Chubb is probably his last year. Denzel Ward, they didn't move on from him this year, but I promise you they'll probably move on from him this upcoming offseason. So I just think, like, because of the talent, this is the most talent they've had on this roster, and you have Deshaun Watson, and you didn't go through all that just to be a team that hopes to win one playoff game. So that's why I'm kind of like, I think they're there. I don't think, but the difference between that, they're there because the way they're constructed on paper.
Right.
The others are that way because they have the talent, and maybe the Jets and the Browns are in the same boat, I guess. But I think the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Bengals, you know what they have. Like, they should be Super Bowl or bust as far. I think there could be different levels to even the Super Bowl or bust teams. I guess, list season, dude. List season.
Oh, it's going down. Get ready.
All right, 518-1410. See some calls coming in. We'll get to your calls right away. Just be patient. We'll get to your calls right away on the other side. Kenner and Kev, 1410 Wing AM.
It's the Justin Kenner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-658-4848. 800-658-4848. That's 800-658-4848.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
One Mississippi, two Mississippi.
Keep counting at those stop signs, Alex. Full stop and doesn't go until she counts to 5, McSweeney. Because you are a safe driver. And like most drivers who sign up for Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate for how and how much you drive, you could earn a discount for your good driving. So don't turn into an Alex rolling stop and goes whenever she wants, McSweeney. Because once an Alex full stop and doesn't go until she counts to 5, McSweeney, always an Alex full stop. Well, you know the rest. Sign up for Snapshot today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in all states or from all agents.
Want to feed your family without breaking the bank? Take a trip to Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken and pick up a 16-piece family meal at a great price. With 16 pieces of our classic honey-dipped, hand-breaded Famous Recipe Chicken, 4 craveable large sides, and 8 fluffy biscuits. It's affordable eats done right. Treat your crowd to the best for less with the Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken 16-piece family meal. Only at Lee's. Famous for chicken.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by Columbus Equipment in Columbus, Dayton, or Toledo to see their full line of Kubota construction equipment, or check them out online at ColumbusEquipment.com.
$5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers with excellent work history. If that's you, apply now. Cordell Transportation offers home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, and brand new equipment, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, and company 401k with company match. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Tuning in to the high school football game, monitoring the incoming storm, catching your favorite talk show. These are just a few of the reasons more than 80 million Americans depend on AM radio. And did you know AM radio is the backbone of the emergency alert system, keeping the public safe in dangerous times, no matter what the reason. 1410 Wing AM is here to serve you. Visit wearebroadcasters.com to learn more and tell us how you depend on AM.
Why? Just think about it. Why is the #1 selling brand of chainsaws not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot? We can give you over 10,000 reasons. That's how many authorized local steel dealers you can find across the country. Visit one and you'll find a range of dependable gas and battery-powered tools, from trimmers to blowers. And you'll find service from experienced professionals. Real steel. Find yours at SteelUSA.com. Lowe's and Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Discover credit cards do something awesome at the end of your first year. They automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right, everything you've earned doubled. See terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
All right, and we are back. Big news out of the NFL that broke just about 30 minutes ago. Aaron Rodgers officially a New York Jets quarterback now. And now all the talk of, I mean, that was kind of wild, Kev. That went 6 weeks. He did the Pat McAfee show about 6 weeks ago, said he was going to be a Jet. And then for 6 weeks, the teams didn't talk. It's not a coincidence that Monday, all right, the Monday of the NFL draft, all of a sudden a deal gets done. Look, this was one of those things where it made sense to get done before the draft. I mean, this idea that they were just going to head into the draft and come out the other side without a deal didn't make any sense, because you got to draft, yes, for the future, but there's also moves you got to make in the draft that benefit your team this upcoming season. Are you making a move for Aaron Rodgers, your quarterback, or Zach Wilson, your quarterback? That's quite a gap in quarterback talent, and that definitely impacts the type of guys you go after as far as that's concerned. And same thing with the Packers, you know. You would like to think. I don't think the Packers got a lot for him.
Got a first rounder.
They switched first rounders.
Will they get a first rounder next year?
If he plays, like, I don't think the return for him was as good as what I thought it was going to. I thought he would get a little bit. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, injury-riddled Christian McCaffrey got a stronger return than Aaron Rodgers, I guess.
So what it Remind me what McCaffrey
more
got.
Picks. It was multiple first rounders, or it was a first round and multiple second rounders. Is what Christian McCaffrey got. Wow. Yeah, like that was quite a haul. That's why when that happened, I said, man, maybe the Browns should be looking to. That might have been the last running back that had any value. By the way, I'm amazed after the McCaffrey deal how little value running backs have even after that. When you saw the difference and impact that he had. The only reason they had a chance with -3 quarterbacks in the playoffs was because of that.
Yeah. I don't know. They have to get this first rounder. They have to be hoping he doesn't get hurt and it turns into a first round pick and they have a bad season so they can jump up there. I'm looking up the Christian McCaffrey trade right now.
So just for those who are just tuning in, the deal for Aaron Rodgers, I think it's a good deal for both because the Jets get their quarterback and the Packers get rid of their quarterback at the end of the day so they can kind of start fresh. I was just expecting for a guy that's one season removed from back-to-back MVPs, I thought he would get a little bit more. The Jets got Aaron Rodgers. They got the number 15 pick in this upcoming draft and a 2023 fifth-round pick. The Packers got the number 13 pick. So the Packers originally had the number 15 pick. The Jets had number 13. They just flip-flopped them. So now the Packers are picking 2 picks sooner in the draft on Thursday night. They get a 2023 second-round pick, a 6th-round pick, and a conditional 2024 second-round pick that does become a first if Aaron Rodgers plays 65%. So I guess it's not a terrible return, Cav. You do get an additional second-round pick, which is big. And a 6th-round pick. So a lot of the picks they got were for this draft and this draft alone.
Right.
I think what the Jets did not want to do was give up this year's first round and give up multiple first and second-round picks of future drafts as well, because you're basically renting Aaron Rodgers for 2 years max.
Right.
This is kind of like a Tom Brady to the Buccaneers deal. That's what this move basically replaces as the nostalgia quarterback making his final go, making his final push, if you will. That's how we saw Tom Brady end his career, and now that's what we're seeing with Aaron Rodgers here.
Okay, here it is. Christian McCaffrey traded October 20th. Niners send 2nd, 3rd, and 4th-round picks in this year's draft and a 5th-round pick in next year's draft.
No
first-round pick. But I get what you're saying. It's a haul of picks. You're getting a lot. And I'm a person that loves the NFL draft because
there was no first?
No first-round
pick.
Okay,
my bad.
No first-round pick.
Okay. Oh, I believe you. I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought there was a first, but I think it was the amount of picks.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, especially a 2nd, 3rd, and a 4th in this year's draft. I mean, you expect to get a starter out of the 2nd and 3rd round picks out of this for sure if you're the Carolina Panthers. And then also, I mean, we can dig into the weeds later, but they traded up to the first pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they probably used some of those picks to move up in the draft, or they were afforded themselves to trade whatever other picks because they have these picks in the back pocket because they gave up McCaffrey for it. So yeah, I get what you're saying. Like you want to haul. So if you're totally trying to flip your roster, more picks you have, that means more willing and dealing you can do in the draft.
AFC East or AFC North, which is the better division?
The North, baby. The Steelers are in it. No, just joking. It's the East.
I think it's the East now.
It's the East.
If Lamar is a Raven, which one's better division?
That changes things.
I think at that point it goes, who's your stronger 4th team? And it's either the Browns or the Steelers.
Well, I'm definitely taking if Lamar's there, I will go back to the North. If Lamar's there, but it's
even with that bad team that the Ravens put around him, Kev, I thought the Ravens were ass. I mean, come on.
He's that good. He's that good.
He's not 230 fully guaranteed good.
Apparently not. Apparently not.
Go Browns. Oh yeah, I could do this now. Go Browns, baby. Go Browns. Look at this. Look at this. This is just the most beautiful helmet you've ever seen.
Can y'all believe?
Look at this
Can
thing.
y'all believe what this dude bought?
Yeah.
Well, since you get to hold up one, I'll hold up one too. Yeah, I'll hold up the good one. I'll hold up the one everybody loves. Everybody loves this one in this state.
This trash I have in my hand right here. Look at this thing.
Look at this. Go Bucks. So what I'm going to do, we're going to get a couple Buckeye leaves, deck out one side, make sure it's looking good for the season, baby.
Go Browns.
Go Buckeyes.
Go Browns. Go Browns. All right. But, 518-1410, 518-1410. Kev, who we got?
We got Reggie. Reggie's on line 1.
What up, Reggie? How are you, sir?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
How are you?
Doing all right. As usual, I've been listening. I haven't had a chance to call in a couple weeks, so.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. But, we appreciate hearing from you.
But, yeah, man, I had to give you a call in because, normally, Justin, I agree with almost everything you say, man, just because normally you look at it from the football perspective. So I figured I'd call in and give you a little pushback on your AFC list of top 5 quarterbacks.
That's fine. What you got?
So I'd like to make the case that, to be honest with you, I think when you look at things from a pure football perspective and the traits that we classify elite quarterbacks with, I think, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, the two most important things are obviously the quarterback's pure talent. And then the second thing has to be the continuity of the quarterback with the players and in the system. And I think when you look at the AFC, obviously Patrick Mahomes is the king, and his continuity with Andy Reid and Travis Kelce. But I still think that you got to look at Joe Burrow and Josh Allen as 2 and 3. You might be able to flip those two depending on who you ask and whether they're in New York or Ohio. But I think that you coming into the season, Aaron Rodgers notoriously is a guy who's not there for OTAs and doesn't put in a lot of the early work in the off season. And yes, he has Allen Lazard with him, but you're talking about he off pure talent, he's probably going to jump 95% of the quarterbacks in the entire NFL. But going from the NFC to the AFC, I think the continuity that Patrick Mahomes has within his offense, you look at Burrow and Jamar Chase and what the Bengals offense has been, and what Josh Allen, his continuity. I think from a pure football perspective, I don't think it's fair to necessarily say Aaron Rodgers is already the number 2 quarterback in the AFC, because let's be honest here. I mean, the main reason why they were struggling to get a deal is, hey, is Aaron Rodgers even going to be a Jet past 1 year? So when you talk about the early offseason thing and stuff like that, in my opinion, I think from a pure football perspective, it's going to be hard for them to come in, especially in September, to be as productive as the three head honchos in the AFC.
So before I let Justin go, so you said Mahomes, Joey B, or Josh Allen at 2 or 3. Who's 4 and 5?
I would put Aaron Rodgers at 4.
Okay.
I think just because his pure talent is going to pretty much elapse most of the other quarterbacks. However, I really got to push back. Deshaun Watson is not top 5. I think with the lack of games the past 2 years and the way he looked to close out last year, I think I would maybe put him 7. But to say that, honestly, I think Trevor Lawrence even would put up a bigger case at being 5 or 6.
So who you got at 5 or 6? Let's put it on wax.
All right, let's put it on. I'm gonna take Patrick Mahomes at 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the Bengals would have won the AFC Championship last year, win or loss in the Super Bowl, I think Burrow could have made a case for being on the rise of stardom as Patrick Mahomes. That didn't happen. So I'm gonna say Patrick Mahomes at 1. I'm gonna say Burrow at 2. I'm gonna put Josh Allen at 3. I'm gonna put Aaron Rodgers at 4. And at 5, I think there's a lot of names you could throw out there, but I think you got to put Lamar Jackson at 5. So, and then I would maybe put Deshaun at 6 or 7. I know, but hey, that pure talent and the benefit that Lamar has over a lot of quarterbacks is if you're willing to adjust your system to his style of play, he can plug and play. He's good at avoiding contact. You can scheme a lot of design runs up. I don't think anyone's going to touch Lamar unless they're willing to adapt an entire system around him.
But the problem with that is that they're trying to argue otherwise, is that he's not that system back, that he could play in the same offense as Patrick Mahomes and others because he could pass it just as well as them. I don't agree with that. But no. So and by the way, you're right. If Lamar's with the Ravens, I'm not going to give you a lot of pushback there. He wouldn't be top 5 for me, but I'm also not saying he's not an elite quarterback because I think he is. It's just I wouldn't. If I'm a Ravens fan, I would rather have a Jalen Hurts or just more of a pocket passer and Jalen Hurts could run. He runs a lot. I'm not saying that that's not the case, but I just prefer someone who's more pass first than run first. But you can argue that he's run first because he hasn't had the weapons to pass. But no, as far as your continuity point with Aaron Rodgers, and if you're just joining us, Kenner and Kev here, 1410 Wing AM, we have our guy Reggie who just called in about Aaron Rodgers being traded officially to the Jets. And I said right off the bat, outside of Patrick Mahomes, I have Aaron Rodgers as the second best quarterback in the AFC. I don't think last year, because his numbers weren't as good as the 2 years before, that's you take the best receiver away. I mean, look at Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow looked very average last year when they took Jamar Chase away. Tom Brady looked horrible in his last year in New England. You give him weapons in Tampa, and all of a sudden, boom, he's winning Super Bowls. So to your point to continuity on that, Reggie, my only counter or pushback to that is Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers and they won a Super Bowl year 1. You look at Matthew Stafford, he goes to the Rams. wins a Super Bowl year one, and that's with one of their top receivers going down and adding our OBJ and then losing him at the beginning of the Super Bowl. So I get what you're saying, but I think basketball, that matters more so than in football, mainly just because we've seen teams recently just plug and play quarterbacks and have instant success. So we'll see what ends up happening. But I do, for right now, until I see otherwise, I still think for me, Aaron Rodgers is the second best quarterback in the AFC behind Patrick Mahomes. But
I agree with you. And I actually, I would take Jalen Hurts too over Lamar. I was just strictly saying as far as the AFC goes, I would put Lamar fifth. But yeah, I honestly think Jalen is very comparable to Lamar. He may even be a little bit past. I think Lamar's arm might be a little bigger. But yeah, no, I don't have any disagreement with that. I personally, I think the continuity aspect, I think nowadays is very underrated.
All right. Hey, Reggie, I appreciate the call, my man. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Peace. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Yeah, finally that is done. So now we don't have to worry about that's one less talking point. It'll be a fresh talking point because now Aaron Rodgers is officially a Jet, and it's not what if he's a Jet or what, so that changes things heading in to this week's draft. Speaking of Jalen Hurts, last thing on this, I tweeted this out earlier today because I just got a kick out of it. People that I was hating on Jalen Hurts, I'm not. I'm actually a big Jalen Hurts fan. In fact, if Jalen Hurts is who he was in that Super Bowl, Kev, he is a top 5 quarterback. In fact, I mean, he's right. I mean, you talk about the fact that in the Super Bowl, we watched Joe Burrow get to a Super Bowl and he didn't look like an MVP level quarterback. Jalen Hurts did. I mean, that he was elite in that Super Bowl, no doubt about it. But today, Kev, he was asked why he didn't want a fully guaranteed contract. Hurts went on to say that when you look at the best teams in the league, it takes a village. Hurts added that they have something special building in Philly. Money is nice. Championships are better. This is the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League. I like Jalen Hurts, and I know what he's trying to say, but we got to stop acting like just because he didn't take a fully guaranteed contract that you did your team a solid. You're the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, and if you really want to look at the successful teams in the NFL, the teams that are winning Super Bowls don't have quarterbacks in the top 5 highest paid QBs in the league. Just spitting facts, that's all. I like Jalen Hurts. I'm not hating on him. I just got a kick out of that. I got a kick out of the highest paid quarterback in the league saying that he gave his team a discount by not going fully guaranteed.
He did give him a discount because when Joe Burrow gets paid, when Herbert gets paid, everybody going to be like, man, he's getting a bargain. Just like same way everybody look at Patrick Mahomes. It's a bargain for Patrick Mahomes. But when he signed a contract, everybody in their mind was like, he's the highest paid out there. He's going to break him. They'll be fine. They'll be fine because they got 2 first-round draft picks and they just played in the Super Bowl. They will be perfectly fine. The guys that they let walk in free agency, they'll replace them with first-round talent.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Look at this helmet. This helmet's just beautiful. Mr. Belmer, Jim Belmer made these helmets for us. Shout out to Mr. Jim Belmer.
No. He made them for you. He made that for you.
So
he made this for us.
He made it. So I put an order in for these 3 helmets. And Mr. B says, I tell you what, pay for 2 of them and I'll give you the Browns one for free. I was like, no. I'll pay you for the Browns and the Buckeyes one. You give me the Bengals one for free. How about that one? How about we do that? That's a deal. The Browns, this is not a helmet you throw in for free. This thing, and it's not the quality. The quality of this helmet is beautiful. Mr. Belmer did a fantastic job at this ugly Bengals helmet. Now, I will tell you this: if this was all, I should have got. I'm going to order another one. Mr. Belmer did say he's taking orders. By the way,
hit him up.
You reach out to the show. I'll be glad to pass you along to him. These helmets are awesome. He does a very good job with these. But I am going to order the all white one.
You should.
The only thing about the Bengals I like. There's a few. I like Ken Anderson. I like Ickey Woods. I liked Von Bell, but he's gone. Thank God. And I like the white helmet for the Cincinnati Bengals. Outside of that.
No love.
Brownies. Here we go.
No love.
All of a sudden, Deshaun Watson, that $46 million a year, don't look so bad now, does it? Just throwing that out there.
You better hope y'all go to the playoffs.
Playoffs? About Super Bowl.
Oh, so they Super Bowl or bust?
Oh, yeah. We're going to knock out.
There it is.
We're going to knock out the Jets and Aaron Rodgers in the divisional round. Because, and then we're going to knock out the Bengals in the AFC Championship.
Shaw, I hope you're recording this so we can bring it up during the season.
The rosters, I kind of
No.
We got the schedule release coming up on May 11th, which I've circled. I'm a nerd. I can't wait for the schedule release. So I'm going to tell you how many games your team's going to lose.
Is Bills, Jets, Bengals, Chiefs, Philly, Browns, Super Bowl or bust. Got it.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Hour 3 coming up next.
listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.